Hey, what's up everybody? What you're about to see is my review video on the Nymph from Worktuffgear. For some reason, during the remaking of the video, I kept calling it the Wood Nymph. It is not the Wood Nymph, it is just the Nymph. So ignore me every time I say Wood Nymph. Sorry, Jeremy. Sorry, Vic. I don't know why I kept saying that, but I realized that while I was editing the video. It is the Nymph. Enjoy the video. Stay safe, stay sharp. What's up everybody, it's Jason from Straight Edge Knives. We've got another video review coming to you today, and today we are going to be going over the Worktuffgear Nymph, designed by Jeremy Boulder Valentine. Check this little guy out. Guys, this is just a robust, stout little EDC blade that's going to be perfect to throw in a backpack, a fanny pack, back pocket, front pocket. You can clip this thing to your belt. I mean, there's this, with the low profile of this blade and the stoutness of it, I mean, it's going to be able to come in and do just about anything you want it to do. I mean, it's just, I've been carrying this around. Jeremy Boulder Valentine, the designer, actually sent this to me to check out, which thank you, Jeremy. I greatly appreciate that. And man, this is cool. Like, it's just a really cool little blade, and it's the thickness of it, the stoutness of it. Oh, I just love it. I've been carrying it around. I have carried it several different ways. I've thrown it in my front pocket. I've carried it in my back pocket. Just like I said, I've thrown it in my fanny pack. Yeah, I have a fanny pack. I'm old. Okay, I got dad shoes and whatever. That's how it is. You'll get there one day. Trust me. But it's just very, very cool little blade. I'm gonna get you guys a closer look at this. Get you guys a real good look at the sheath. So we're gonna flip this camera around, show you what we're working with. All right, everybody, we got this camera flipped around. We're going to get you guys a nice, good look at this little guy. Check this bad boy out. It's got a nice saber grind with a convex edge. It's N690 cryo steel. It's a skeletonized handle. So actually, one of the things, when this first came out, I believe it came completely skeletonized. And what they've done on this one is they came in and they added this G10 right here, this orange G10. I think you can get it in a green or as well. But two little screws, so it kind of covers up, but it gives you just a little bit extra meat to hold on to. Let me back that out just a little bit. There we go. Gives you just a little bit extra to hold on to get a hold of. One of the things I did while I've been waiting to do this video is I did take these handle scales off to check it out without it, and it does give it a little extra, makes it a little extra lighter for sure. It feels good to hold without it, but I actually do like the little G10 handle scales that have been added. It gives a little extra grip for me, which I like. So I mean, but you can run it either way depending on what you're looking for weight or size wise anyway. But this is, even with the handle scales on, this thing comes in as a very nice thin package. You can see it has a nice taco style kydex sheath with a drainage hole. Very well made, super thin profile. You see it fits in there nicely, no rattle, no wiggle, but I mean, look at that thin profile. That's why it's so easy to just drop into your pocket if you need it, want a pocket carry. Got a nice little thumb ramp on here, but you just kind of grab right here, boom, pops right out, no problem. Get your thumb right here, pull it out, no problem. You can see this jimping here on the back is very nicely done. It's nicely rounded all the way through, so it's not overly aggressive, but there's just enough there to get your thumb on the back. It ain't gonna go anywhere. Got this nice little kind of fuller here to help reduce weight as well. You can run the lanyard hole through here. You can run the lanyard through there if you want to put a lanyard on it. Not a problem. I mean, it's just a very cool little stout blade. All this is rounded, so it's very, very comfortable to your hand all the way around. It's you're not gonna get any hot spots working with this bad boy. So very nicely done. Very good concealed carry EDC blade, neck blade, if you will. You're just going to be able to kind of do a lot with it. Fortunately, I don't have a ton of specs on this right now. I was trying to look it up because it hasn't been available for a while on the Worktuffgear site, which I do believe there's going to be another run of these coming this year. Sorry, I got a shadow in the way with my arm there. Let me switch hands, see if that helps. Got the sun coming down on me, which is nice because it's been raining and stuff here. But you got basically an overall 7 inches. It's a 56 to 60 Rockwell harness on the N690. It's a 3.1 inch cutting edge, I believe. Saber grind with a convex edge. Like I said, G10 handle scales. Very nicely done. And we're gonna get into some cutting here. That's what we want to do. We want to see it cutting. And today, I think, because of the size of the blade, we're going to go ahead and stick with this view. Hopefully I don't hit the camera. Let you guys see this little guy at work. So here we have our catalog. It's been cut up a little bit, but what I like doing with this obviously is a stab test. I'll come in here, let you guys see the penetration. So you can easily get your thumb over the top, no problem. You can see here, thumbs over the top. So definitely keeps your hand. There's a little bit of a choil here that's going to keep your pinky in place. So you can look at that. Look at that little guy going just right there's the tip. So you went what, at least halfway through this catalog, as you can see there. That's pretty good for a little blade this size. Tips right about there. Again, halfway through. I mean, that's pretty good. I can't, cuts right through, man. It's nice, slick. This blade feels really slick too. Man, I'm gonna definitely have a hard time. Let's flip the camera back around. All right, sorry about that, guys. It's hard for me to work with the camera right in front of me, and then now my puppy dog's wanting to come get his head in the game. But here we got some nice tube. I'm gonna keep the camera down low because I really want you guys to see this blade at work. So we're gonna keep the camera low. You don't need to see my ugly face. But come in here, slice off these pieces. And of course a plane would have to fly right over while we're in the middle of the video. Well, I'm just having little issues today. But you'd easily come in, cut off chunks of this hose. Let's say it's a radiator hose or something like that, and you were stranded, you could do that. Kind of come in here, kind of pierce through, do a rolling cut, if you will. No problem at all. Let's say you had a leather belt, you had to cut a leather belt off of something, or I don't know, just had to trim up some leather. Maybe you do leather work. So you can come in here and you can, look at that nice like little sliver. Look at that. Come in here, shaven leather, if you will. Not a problem. Come in here and just hog chunks off if you need to. Not a problem. If you had to pierce through this belt, not a problem. Come in, cut this chunk off. No problem at all. I mean, it's just work sharp. I mean, not work sharp. Work Sharp's a sharpening system. Worktuffgear, I mean, every time I get any of their blades, man, they're coming just sharp as hell, man. It's just, they do such a great job. This guy is fire hose. This is literally fire hose from an old fire truck. This stuff has been used and abused, and it's covered in dirt, grime, and everything else. And this stuff is ridiculously tough to cut and pierce because it's abrasion resistant, obviously, if we're going through car wrecks and things like that. Look at that. Pierce right through, no problem. Come in, cut it out. Look at that. Cut that chunk off. Let's come over here. Oh, look at that. It's cutting through this like butter right now. Very nice. Again, guys, this stuff is super tough to cut. And see this little blade go right through it like that? That's pretty impressive for me. I've had knives that are really sharp, have a difficult time cutting through that. Let's check that edge. Still feels really good. That stuff almost acts like sandpaper and abrasive almost to the blade edge. You got some of this poly rope here, you're out there, cut through it no problem. And that's actually one of the cool things about this orange handle is if you drop this out in the woods or possibly like in a river, you know, there's a good chance you're going to be able to see it and recover your blade. So kudos to that. So if you're a hunter, you need to carry a smaller blade for hunting, skinning, whatever. This could be a good option for you as well, because it also is, like I said, lighter. Come in here and let's cut it into the piece. Cuts through that rope, no problem. Let's say you had to do a nice kind of controlled cut. Cut it off, no problem. So that rope, not gonna have any issues with. Got this thicker kind of I'm gonna have to figure out the name of this rope. I always forget. But this stuff, you have to come in here, cut a chunk off, not a problem. This blade isn't gonna really be good for chopping because obviously it's such a small blade. You can choke really far back on it and possibly get a good little whip cut. Let's see. I don't think you'd be able to whip cut this rope and cut it, but you might be able to, like with the poly rope. Let's try it. Let's kind of come back here, see if you can see. Yep. Yeah, not bad. I got most of the pieces. Look, it's just barely hanging on. So, you know, if you had to come in and do a whip chop, you could whip chop it, but you know, it's not guaranteed that it's going to go all the way through. But I wouldn't expect that with a blade this small and this light, so I don't think you should either. But let's see what else we got here. Oh, let's say you had to get in there and you know, well, I've already made a double-ended spear here, but this is a pretty good size thick wood dowel, and we need to know if we can make a spear, a tent stake if you will. So let's go ahead and baton through the end of this thing here. Typically I would not say this is a batoning knife, but with the thickness of it and the toughness that I know Worktuff has, I'm not particularly worried about it. Look at that. Not a problem. Is it the ideal knife for doing this? No. Obviously you'd want to use a bigger knife to do that, but if you had to, you could come in and break it down. You can do some, I would say, light batoning with it. That actually stuck it into my log there. But let's check this edge, because I mean that's what we're doing when we do this. We're checking the edge. Still feels nice and sharp. You guys can see that. I don't see any chipping or rolling. But part of doing that was to make it like this, so we could come in here, show you guys we could make some fire curls, and with this convex edge and saber grind, I mean, it makes making fire curls and things like that just nice to do. But this stick we want to make a spear with, so you could come in here, kind of do some quick light chops like so. Save these for your fire if you will. But you know, if you're in a hurry and you got a thicker piece of wood, doing these light chops like this helps get your stick down to the edge that you need, rather than sitting there and you keep going like this and like this. You know, this works too though. I mean, look at those big little slivers coming off. Plus, like I said, you can save these for your fire. If you want to be a little bit more controlled with it, you can kind of rest it up on your shoulder. Go nice and slow. Really get those good slivers, right? I mean, this is a great little knife to bust out for doing, like you said, your camp prep, your fire prep. So you can sit here and keep doing this, working it down, you know, all the way till you get to a spear point, if you will. And then you'd also have quite a bit of nice wood shavings to help start your fire, you know. One of the nice things about this steel N692 is it's very corrosion resistant. So if you are working around water and stuff a lot, you're definitely going to get a lot more corrosion resistance with the N690. But as you can see, you could come in and make some nice fire curls. Come in, keep working it down till you get to your spear point. Make your tent stake, if you will. Making your figure 4 notches, which that's a good thing too. It's like if you had to come in and you were making you had to make a notch for your tent stake, or like a figure 4 trap or something like that, which I am gonna have to make a figure 4 trap one of these days. I've never done that. You could come in, I'm gonna lightly tap this in to a certain, you know, just about a certain depth. I'm gonna pull it out. That's what she said. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. Anyway, come in here, do it again on this side. Set that off to the side. Take it out, or so now I got these 2 little notches there, and that's basically where I'm going to try to hog out this material to make a basically a grip point for my rope, or maybe a snare point for a trigger trap or something like that. you could come in here, work it out, flip it around, you guys can see there. With this little blade, you can choke up nice and thing, and you know, have some control with it. You know, sometimes with the bigger knives, it's a little bit harder to control. You might accidentally take a little too much out. And I know with, you know, some of these traps that people make, they need to be very, I don't know, I would say precise. You know, because it's basically, you want it to have a hair trigger for the mouse or squirrel or something to set off, you know, things like that. But you could easily say, come in here with this blade, be a little bit more precise with it, if you will. Like I said, make that kind of grip point for your trap or your trigger or whatever it is that you got. Again, if you got to do some light batoning, you know, I would say if you had a baton with this knife, I wouldn't do anything, you know, maybe thicker than this. You might possibly be able to get away with going like this. And, you know, we're gonna try it because we want to see, right? So, kind of come in here. There's enough blade edge here that you can get on top of it and still have a little bit sticking out to baton with. You can see there, you got kind of got stuck in a knot there. So we're gonna pull that down a little bit. Bam. Yeah, so you can see that knot right there. But I mean, that's definitely a good tip test as well. You guys can see there, that tip is perfectly fine. Again, no damage to the edge, no rolling or no chipping, and going through that knot, not a problem. But yeah, you could definitely use the Wood Nymph to help, you know, break some smaller stuff down. You know, because you know, maybe you did go out on a little quick hike out in Yosemite or Appalachian Trail or whatever, and you're like, I'm just going for a little quick hike, and bad thunderstorm or something comes in. All of a sudden you're stuck. And you're like, shit, this is the only knife you brought with you because you're just trying to save some weight. You could use this to help start a fire. Bam, look at that. Ran into another knot there, you guys can see that. So, but you wouldn't have to worry about batoning it a little bit to break some wood down to be able to start your fire, which is good. I mean, right? Obviously, it's not your ideal tool for doing that, but you can do it with the Wood Nymph. This thing is definitely got a robust profile to it. This is a, I don't even know what size board this is. This came off a pallet. So let's go do another little stab test here. We're gonna tip test this baby. Bam, look at that, nice pierce. Look at that. Oh, what was that? That went flying off. Oh, something. Oh, something went flying off and it was right here. But now, guys, typically most people would tell you, do not do this. It's gross abuse, and it is. So I would not suggest jamming your knife into a piece of wood and trying to pry out pieces like that. But I'm testing this blade for you guys, so that's why I'm going to do it. Look at that. That tip is perfectly fine. It's still needle point sharp. There's no deformation to it at all. Look at that. Look at that. Now, let's say, I know this probably isn't, you'd want to do this on the edge of the board, but let's say you were trying to do this to make a divot for, you know, a bow drill. You know, can you come in here and kind of carve this stuff out? Actually, let's try it right here. Kind of put it, and I don't even know how to do this, guys, so I'm just kind of guessing. But if you had to make a little, kind of come in here, put the tip just barely in there. That's what she said. I know, I threw another one in there. And just kind of keep rolling this around. It's definitely putting a edge test on here, tip test, if you will. But you can see that you would be able to make your little bow drill spot right there on this board and have your thing go in here. You know how, I don't know, maybe you know how to make one, I don't, but Look at that. Look at that. Oh. Shave those pieces off. Man, this Wood Nymph, guys, I think it's just a really good all-around EDC blade. I mean, you're going to be able to come in and do a lot of stuff with it. A lot of just your EDC type stuff. Cutting cardboard, cutting paper, boxes, breaking down boxes. Again, if maybe you're, like I said, an avid fisherman and you're out in the lakes and rivers a lot, with this N690, you're going to have a lot more corrosion resistance. You're definitely going to have a good edge for cutting rope, maybe fishing line, things like that. I don't think you could kind of go wrong with having this little guy on your side. Really don't. It's just a good all-around tough little blade. You can see that edge is perfectly fine. There's not an issue here at all, which is awesome. Which that's what we want to see, right? We want to see these edges and tips hold up to testing. Man, it still feels sharp. Look at that. Taking spots off my arm right there. It's still got enough. It's after batoning through that wood, it still has an edge that will take the hair off my arm. I don't know what else to say about that, guys. I mean, that's just, can't go wrong with that. Guys, if you can get your hands on a Wood Nymph, I would definitely suggest doing so. Jeremy, great job designing it. Vic Lynn over at Worktuff, awesome job making it as always. I mean, this is just a good all-around EDC blade. I don't think you could go wrong with it. I know I've said it 100 times. I'll probably say it one more time before this video is over. Maybe not. You guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the Wood Nymph. Tell me if you'd pick one up. And I think these are coming out again this year. So keep an eye out on Worktuffgear's website for that. Guys, thank you again so much. I greatly appreciate it. Stay safe, stay sharp, and we will see you next time.